Today we are standing at Samne Ghat in Varanasi, and the reason to come to this ghat is the view of this fort. So, in front of us, across the river Ganga, is the place called Ramnagar. Nowadays, it is also known as Shastri Nagar because the great Prime Minister of India, Lal Bahadur Shastri, was born here. Now, this bridge, it's a new construction. Earlier, there used to be a pontoon bridge, and this bridge was connecting Ramnagar directly with the main city that is here. Now, this bridge, towards the left, it goes to BHU, and towards the right, in the distance, it is entering into Ramnagar. Now, what is in front of us is the Ramnagar fort. It is the residence of the Kashi Naresh, the present titular king of Banaras. And right in front of this is a kind of Kacha Ghat, which is also called Samne Ghat. Now, why it is called Samne is because Samne in Hindi means ahead or in front. So, in front of this fort, it's the Samne Ghat. Now, this ghat is accessible by a road which is moving parallelly to this bridge, and if you just have to not climb on the bridge and take a right turn, and then you reach this ghat. Now, one important thing which you should note is that this bridge, this ghat is not yet fully constructed. Okay, so there is a notice board over here which tells people that you are not allowed to come here. That's a problem because I did not see any authorities over here who are preventing people to come, but people do come here anyway, and maybe the authorities decided to allow it. So here is the notice board. It's in Hindi. Even I took some time to understand what's written there, but it says that the ghat is under construction, and there are some construction material lined up over here in the distance. So there's a parking over here. It's rudimentary. I'm sure as soon as the ghat is declared complete and it is inaugurated, this one will be converted into paid and parking. But right now, this parking is there. The sun is setting behind us here, and that's the winter path of the sun since we are in November of 2024. So, somewhere here would be the sunrise. So, it would be interesting to come here during the sunrise time and see how good it looks. But anyway, today is also an interesting day because I have just downloaded Riala Ace film simulation as a firmware update for my XS20. So here it is, the XS20 with uh, the 18 to 300 Tamron lens. And today I'm going to try out Riala Ace directly as a film simulation and also as a film simulation recipe which I have downloaded. So there it is. That's the bridge in front of us. This is the ghat. These ghat structures remind me of the Markandeya Mahadev ghat, which has been built on the confluence of Gomti and Ganga. It's around 1 hour's drive from here. So the similar structure was there. This, I think, is still under construction. Like this structure was also there, and there was one in the distance, and there are these steps with a viewpoint. There's one viewpoint there also. So I'm going to access all these. Otherwise, this ghat has nothing. It's just a normal ghat, but infrastructure wise it is well made, and it's the stairs are right till the river bank, so we'll go over there. But as I said, the main aim is to capture the Ramgarh fort with the sun shining in front. That's Banaras in front. I think I might just go down and let's see a view of the ghats of Banaras. Now, it is a good idea that should I come here in the morning during sunrise, I might capture some of these ghats. The winter morning fog is a problem. It's a problem all across North India, and it is not just a fog; it's a smog. That means the pollution element is also included in it. So it's a bit kind of a downer always, because if you go there in the morning and if there is the smog, so you virtually can't see anything. So there's no point in planning for it as it is. So let's see. I'll take a call afterwards. But for right now, let me try to get as close as possible to the uh, river bank so that I can click the fort from up close. So all these structures which you see and the sugarcane pieces and all these flowers, they are from the Chhat Puja which was completed today. And once this place is cleaned up, the mud is still being removed. That's a good part. They are all getting ready for the Dev Deepavali, which is there on 15th November. It's the most important event in Banaras. Uh, yeah. So that's the bridge, and that's the fort. This is the last level of the staircase. Now, there are two ways to get up close to this fort. Uh, One is you cross this bridge, park your car somewhere in the Ramnagar Ghat, which is there in front. And then from there, you can take a walk till how much point you can take. And from there, you can shoot off a couple of pictures. The other best option is always a boat. But boats are expensive. I mean, at the Dolphin Point at Markande Ghat, I was asked for 1,000 rupees to take the boat for say 20 meters inside the river and then do some dolphin shooting. So that's the asking rate. Then you bargain and bring it down to around say even 600, maybe 500. But 500 is also quite steep. So, but then there is no other way to access the front fort walls. So let's see. There's first I'll reach there, and then there is a ticket for entry. I don't really want to go inside the fort for one reason, which I'll explain when we reach there, and I'll show it to you. There's a slight problem, but anyway, nevertheless, this is a very good view. You can come and sit here on the ghat in the evening if you want to, and you can enjoy the view. It's a really good view from here, and there are hardly anybody over here. So while the other ghats of Varanasi are crowded in the evenings, I won't say the crowd is a problem, but yes, if you're not looking for too many people around, or if you're looking for some kind of peace and quiet, this is a good option. You can just sit here and see the river move by you and see the traffic moving above. I'm not sure. I think there is some kind of lighting arrangement made on the bridge at night. So the view of the bridge is also going to be great. For the next part of the tour, we are going to go across the river on this bridge, and then we have to park somewhere near the ghats. And from there will be a walk around of the ghats, as well as we'll try to reach the fort walls as close as possible. That's the intersection. That is also called Ramnagar Chauraha. Yeah, it is also called as Lal Bahadur Shastri Chowk Chauraha. This is one of the bastions of the fort walls. It's looking like a abandoned building. Yeah, that's what describes it best. And this is the road which goes towards the Ramnagar Ghat, or it is also called Balu Ghat. And this is the bridge which is the entry point into Ramnagar Ghat. Now, the plan is that, before I forget, that blue shop in front is a lassi shop. It's a very famous lassi shop. We'll cross when we come back on the road. Now, this place lives in the shadow of Banaras. So, the most famous city in the world and the most important, cultural, spiritual, religious icon, that's Banaras. And a smallish kind of town, which is, right opposite the ghats of Kashi. How do they, maintain their identity? So there are two things. One is the lassi of Ramnagar, which is very famous. They say that better than the lassi of Banaras, and I agree to them that contention. And the second one is the Ram Leela of Ramnagar. It is amazing. It is a live Ram Leela. It moves from places to places, and it doesn't use any modern appliances like lights and decoration and even mics and loudspeakers. Everything is spoken. There has been drop silence, and people just listen. Yeah, that's a very busy road. So the moment this bridge turns, and then we get a view of the Ganga River, so there will be a kind of barrier which will obstruct the view. Okay, that's an interesting temple. It's a temple premises right next to the ghat. So that's quite interesting. That's the Ramnagar Ghat, and that's the fort walls. You can see it from a distance. So the bridge starts from here, and as I mentioned, immediately as the bridge turns, there is a barrier which is going to make photography almost impossible. But that's okay. I'll be finding a way out. So I'll be filming this till the time I hit the barrier. Yeah. So that's the bridge, that's the ghat. And this is the river police. They have made a nice picket over here. They got these boats lined up and some chairs kept under the shade. Beautiful. Such a treat to work over here. And that's it. That's the view of the fort. That's the view of Banaras from here, the ghats. And I don't know how for how long this. There is some gap underneath. I might try to click off a couple of pictures from here. So that's the Ramnagar fort and the ghats which are in front. There is some pond over here. I don't know what it is for. Now we are back at Ramnagar Chauraha, yeah, Lal Bahadur Shastri Chauraha, and we are going to move parallelly along with the fort walls. So this road towards the ghat, it's got a couple of shops. There is a series of shops on both sides of the road. Now, if you're coming here in a two-wheeler, you would be good and fine. But four-wheeler parking is a little tricky. So, firstly, there is a parking here. The shops are closed, and this is a good parking spot. But as you can see, it has been taken over by this bus. So that's gone. So you could be unlucky sometimes. But the space is there. It's quite huge. You can park a big SUV also. And then there is a pay parking. So that is that pay parking. Generally, the charges are 50 rupees. It's okay if you feel safer to do a pay parking, and then you can go about your doing your work. Now there are boats over here which take you across for the Ganga Aarti. So in that case, this parking is the best option. Now, just before the ghat comes, there's an interesting fish market over here. So, assuming all these fishes are from the river, assuming, because you have no idea, people in India are as enterprising as ever. They might even breed fishes here and then claim that they have come from the river. So these are those catfish which have been banned in India because they are a very intrusive species and they destroy the local fish habitat. So that's the river, that's the temple which we saw from the bridge. It's quite beautiful and well maintained. And this was that abandoned structure which was visible from the bridge. There is no marking whatsoever. If you ask some local person, then we'll be able to tell. It must be some. Okay, no. There is a description. Okay, it's written in Hindi. I'll take I'll take some time translating it, but on the face of it, it looks that it is the property of the Kashi Naresh. I'll cover that part later. So there's a temple here, and these are the footstairs. These are the stairs taking you to the ghat. Now this ghat is not actually, something of a tourist attraction, but nevertheless, it's a local ghat. Now, when I say local ghat, that means all the people who stay in and around this ghat and those who have got accessibility to this ghat can come here. People will come here in the morning. They might come in the evening to have a good time over here. So there will be some tea stalls. There would be, you know, street food stalls and all these things. People will have a good time over here. And if they have to perform some religious rituals, then also they'll come here. So there will be a couple of priests who will be sitting here with their stand, and they will be helping you to offer prayers. So they are the official so-called custodians of the prayers. And also there is this JCB which is working to get the ghat ready. Dev Deepavali, as I mentioned, is just around the corner. Hectic preparations. And I don't know whether this structure is going to come up or it has been dismantled, but something is going on. It was going on for a long time here. And these boats which are lined up over here, they take you to Assi Ghat, which is right in front. So across the river, Assi Ghat, and then, Ganga Aarti. Now, this is the fort walls. The fort is purely private property. Okay, that was the Chhat Puja preparations. The fort is private property, and there are some rules and laws which states that this can be done and that can be done. There are some written rules and there are some unwritten rules. So I have to try my luck. Let me see how close I can get to the fort walls from where I can take some pictures. I have the camera in my hand ready. Uh, if someone objects, I have to stop filming. People are very, very, what I should say, they are very finicky about photography and all. Mobile photography sometimes is allowed. I mean, people get a little liberal, but you see a camera, they simply go into an overdrive. So this person is walking by. I was really tempted to ask him ki how far I can go. So that's the fort walls. It is in a bad shape. I'll cover this part subsequently. But we saw one property behind. That property also belongs to the uh, Maharaja of Kashi. And that is also in a dilapidated state. I mean, come on. There has to be some logical explanation for it, though I myself fail to understand. So the water levels risen till here. This is the mud, and then the river has gone down till this level. So that's quite okay. I can see a bird over there. Let's see if I can go and click. And I need to stop filming for a while. Now, officially, I am on the fort premises. These are the fort walls. There's a lot of mud over here. But over here, there is some sort of steps or ghats. Now, if I watch closely, the construction of these stairs, they're just fitted together, but they are not been riveted. Normally in this gap, I will find you can find a iron rivet which moves and connects these two, but I don't find it over here. So it's a kind of kacha ghat. However, the fort walls are very formidable, and this ghat has got a staircase going up. And yes, there are some people sitting over there, which I'm not aware of. But let me see. Uh, Let me stop filming for a time, and then on my way back, I'll take a film of that. Now, this is the absolutely unkept area of the fort walls. There's a proper ghat over here. These stones show that it is a very ancient construction, because these black color stones are something which predates the other sand stones. And even this anchor which you see, this is the anchor for the boats. So this is all old construction. And this whole area is just left like that. So sometimes a few fishermen come over here, like this person, he's catching fish. There are a couple of people sitting over there, and otherwise this area is in total neglect. I would not recommend anyone to come here until unless you are pretty confident of what you're doing and you're confident of exploring something. So there's nothing of any tourist attraction over here. It is just that I wanted to take the pictures of the fort up close, which I ventured out over here. And that also, it is just during the daytime. So uh, in another, say, couple of weeks, the water is going to recede even further. I mean, once we go into December, this water levels are going to go pretty down. So that is the time when all these steps will be out in the open, and then there'll be more people coming in this direction. But for the time being, till that time, I mean, this doesn't look like worth it. This is a spectacularly magnificent ghat when it was made. Like, if you had see, this is the main staircase to the ghat, and look at the view. I mean, if this building is illuminated at night, and it's sunset time, because the sun is going to set over here. So at sunset time, there would be a beautiful golden glow on this building. So a picture with a boat in this from this point to this staircase is going to be awesome. I can't fail but to understand that how come such grandeur is left to neglect. This is the main facade of the palace. It was made in such a with an aim in mind that the river should have a view of this place, and it is a sunset point. So that marble arch which is there distinctly in the center, that's the Rajgadi of the king. And if you look at the condition of this ghat, unclean, dirty, these things are not cleared. There could have been some construction work which had gone inside, and they have just dumped the leftovers of construction here on the staircase itself. I mean, that's pathetic. Uh, they The local people uh, call him Kashi Naresh, and they also address him as Maharaja, the Maharaja. So he is revered as a living god. But if this is a seat of power, he has to maintain it. Now, that's the Ramnagar Bridge, or Shastri Bridge, Lal Bahadur Shastri Bridge. That's the Ramnagar Ghat, and then you can see the fort in the distance. Now, along the Ganga River, in the front, I can see a riverbed. Now, from the bridge, I was viewing it that it goes into a little distance. That's right opposite the ghats of Varanasi. I can see Ravidas Ghat from here. The question is, how far away this will take you, and I have to come back also. So let me have a look in this direction. But before that, before we go walking in that direction, there's one interesting thing I would like to show you. So this looks like a very, very old boat. I mean, by the design and the construction, because nowadays these boats which are being made, there's one made over there, it's purely metallic and wood also, but this one is old. Now, why I'm saying the design, because if you see this pattern which has been made in the front, that's a wood carving that's not found in newer boats. They don't make any designs. And the wood attachments over here, they also have some kind of design. But it's the inside layout which is interesting. You know, this boat must be kept here for a long time. So it's become kind of old. But you can see metallic construction, and then this central support structure, and the small structure which provides shade. And there would have been some attempts to make it mechanical. You can see the engine over there. But overall, see the door and the graphics of the door, and there's a tiny window. So, so people can sit here in the shade. Could be made for the ladies. So, going by the design and the graphics, this looks like a old boat. If I ask the locals, they would be easily able to tell me how old this is, and they might even tell me whose boat it is. I'm still wondering why this pond is there. Uh, Many times it happens that the pond is made so that people don't litter the river. They put their religious articles inside this pond. So that could be one reason. Now, that's the direction which we are walking into. I'm not going to film the whole thing, but I'll do it in parts. That's the lady who has constructed this trampoline, and she is allowing people to play, the kids to play for a fee. So there we go. We're just going to cross over. And here is an example of a boat being made. It's made out of metal now. So there's a small hamlet over here which is constructing boat. It must be the boat people. And along the river side, especially in a place like Kashi, you will also find, old boats, abandoned boats just left over. They don't even take care to destroy it because it is going to put a lot of effort. So one such boat is visible here. Then this boat is almost gone. It's just the structure is there. The owner must have just left it over here one fine day, and after the flooding got over, the boat was left to maroon over here. What story it could have had behind it? Anyway, so there is a small hamlet which is a workshop kind of thing, and here are the boats which have been marooned over here, and that's the bridge and the fort. Now let me head in the forward direction to see till how far I can reach along this sandy bank. Now that's the lassi shop which I was talking about. It's sky blue in color, and that's the lassi. It's absolutely creamy and delicious. The shop is on the main road. I'll just show it to you from the front side. Now that's the entrance of the fort. It's coming up, and there is a akhada over here. So this space has been given to Guruji, who is, who can train the local youth. So that's the akhada from outside. I can just show it to you from here. Oh, there is an entrance from there also. Let me try to film it. Akhada is a sacred place. It's a holy ground, and exercise is closely linked with the religious rituals, which is again amazing. Because which culture in the country, apart from India, offers such kind of option, for fitness? So there was a mini traffic jam over there, which has led to this problem. Now that's the entrance of the fort. Okay, this is a two-wheeler parking. Yeah, that's how I saw people entering into it. And that's the akhada. So basically, akhada is actually just a wrestling pit. It's a wrestling ground, and it is of mud. There is no hard floor or concrete, and there are these appliances which are used to exercise and build up your muscular strength. So there's a small two-wheeler parking, and there's no four-wheeler parking. So people have randomly parked their four-wheelers in front, and that's the entrance of the fort. Now, here is what I was, not happy about. It's not a kind of complaint, but such a magnificent fort and such a massive property. And if you look at the entrance itself, that is not maintained. You know, things are broken, they are falling apart. There are cracks in the concrete, and they are charging a ticket for the museum also. So what I mean to say is that such a huge property, and there's a notice over here which says that photography is prohibited, and beyond a certain point, cameras are not allowed inside. So that's another reason for me to get angry or not happy. So there's a huge property inside, and the condition of the property is also the same. It is in a bad shape. It's dilapidated and it's falling apart. So, with a person who is considered to be the king and he is revered as a living god, this fort could come up in a big way as far as the tourism is concerned. And this is the famous thing about about Ramnagar is the lassi. So there are a lot of these lassi shops which are lined up over here, lassi and chaat. And the one which we sat before, that is the most famous one. They say ki Ramnagar ki mashhoor lassi. And this is the main road which goes ahead, and little bit distance there is the Ram Leela ground. All these structures which you see, uh, it's all the property of the king. So he's got a lot of property all across Kashi and maybe even outside. But if this is his seat of power, and if this is his seat of pride, so I somehow don't agree with this idea that it cannot be maintained. So this is one end of the fort, the other end is facing the river. And yes, this is Lal Bahadur Shastri Pravesh Dwar. So Ramnagar is basically Lal Bahadur Shastri's area. And this fort is a big tourist attraction, which is why all these chaat shops are there around. Yeah, that guy is calling me. Anyway, not for today. And this Chauraha is a very busy intersection. And I'll just take you to the last part, which I wanted to show you the famous lassi shop. That's the one. Okay. Shiv Prasad Lassi Bhandar. It's bright blue in color, sky blue to be precise, and it's always crowded. I mean, you will find at least 7-8 customers waiting outside and standing and having a lassi. So that's it. These are the fort walls, and that's the front of the fort. Let me go and have a look one more time as to whether the sun has come in the setting range so that I can capture the sun on the fort walls.